Hi everyone, Philip McCaudle here. Just a quick little video. I've got an overexposed photograph done, of course, on purpose. We're going to see if we can recover it in RAW and JPEG. We'll have a look. Okay, let's get on with that. Well, let's just put it into Photoshop. This is Photoshop 2017 CC. We'll put it into RAW. Here we go. So that's in RAW. A bit overexposed. It's shot, as you'll see up here, f4, 4 thousandths of a second at 12,800 ISO with a 7200 at 185. Now, that's totally wrong, of course. I set up the camera totally badly. Naughty boy, but it's a brand new camera straight out of the box. It's the Canon D100, which I've got as a little thing to try and maybe do a little video on it. So anyway, what have we got? We've got this image and we're much too light. So the first thing to do in RAW, of course, is to see if we can recover it. Well, let's just drop the exposure. Well, I find that already amazing. Now don't forget, with RAW you've got all the information rather than on JPEG where half of it's thrown away. So let's increase the contrast. Well, I mean, that's you've got absolute control, of course. Now just with those two settings we've recovered an awful lot. Can we get anything back in these highlights? Let's have a little look. I'm sorry about the click you get, but it has to be there, unfortunately, when I'm recording. Other than that, you get nothing. So let's knock it back. Take the highlights all the way back. What's going to happen then? And we take the whites quite a long way back as well. That way we can get a bit more detail up here. We're never going to get it totally right. And we lift the exposure again. And we increase the contrast again. Now, I find that an amazing result for something that was really for the dustbin. Now, what about the noise? I mean, don't forget it's 12,000 ISO. So if we go up to 100% of the image, we can really see all that noise. Now, is it any good at that? Let's see if we can take back noise. Now, all I'm going to do is lift the luminance to about halfway. And you see the difference? I'll knock it back to 0 again. But what happens in the eye and the fur? Is all that going to go out of focus? A little. It goes a little. Maybe luminous detail, brings it back a fraction, but it also brings the noise back a fraction. So those, I'd leave that in the middle. But anyway, I think that's not bad. Now what might happen later, I'll just drop that back a bit anyway. Right. Now what might happen later is I take it into JPEG and then we can see whether I can sharpen it up a little bit more with the high pass filter, which would probably be ideal. So we'll do two things. We'll have a look at it now already converted to JPEG and see if I can recover anything, not this image, the original image, and we'll see if we can sharpen that one up a little bit as well. Okay, here we go. Well, here we are in good old Photoshop. We all know it, don't we? Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a different layer. Now it's very simple. You go up to layer, which is right at the top menu, and we make a duplicate layer and we accept that. So we now have our duplicate layer. You can see it up here. What we're going to do, we're going to go to image, adjustments, and hue and saturation. I know hue, but I don't know saturation. Ah, there we go. Right, now we take it all the way down and we say OK. So that's a black and white image. Now we're going to take the black and white image into the filter. We're going up to filter. Sorry, I've not got this on the screen. My screen grab won't go high enough. We go down the list, other and high pass. Now high pass is going to give me this strange looking thing that I can increase or decrease the detail. Now I tend to do something around there. If you go too much, it's not that much of a problem. So we can say OK. Then we go across the screen, and where it says normal up here, we go to either hard light or soft light. Now I got a hard light mainly because it's for the internet. Now I'll quickly show you an on and off of that. Off, on. So you see how the sharpness has come back. But the great thing is, if I find I've done too much, I can chop it down with this and go halfway, 3/4. That's why I don't worry about going too far. But as it's for the internet, we go up there. But what's going to happen? There's advantage to it and disadvantages, because if now I enlarge, no, I was going to say my noise has come back. It's only come back a little bit. If we take off totally the high pass, you see, I can control how much it comes back, but it's all a question of compromise. Now let's have a look at the original picture done in JPEG. So I'm going to bring him across and put it in Photoshop. Now this is the original JPEG image. I wonder. Let's have a little go. I really don't know. We're going to get image adjustments. Curves? I really don't. Oh, maybe expose. I tell you what we could do. Image auto contrast. Oh, that might have helped. Image adjustments, and we'll go to curves. Well, those who know about curves will know that it's going to be very difficult getting anything back. You see, it affects the colour as well as anything else. Well, you know, I know it's not going to work in levels. If we go to levels, what's going to happen? Whatever we do, the colour is affected, and the whites, never anything in them. All that information was thrown away by our nice friends in Japan, who are trying to save us, who's trying to save us memory space with the JPEG. Hence, RAW is the way to go. There is no doubt about it. If you don't know about RAW, make sure your camera can do it and switch it on to RAW. Well, I hope you enjoyed that very short film. Very short for me anyway. So I'll see you next time. Philip McCaudle signing off.